Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's jump right into this. I want you to think back to the 15 plus years you spent sitting at a desk in school. I mean, they prepared us incredibly well for the world, right? We learned algebra, chemistry, how to dissect a frog in biology. But when it came to the actual mechanics of modern money, how debt really works, or that silent everyday thief we call inflation, they completely skipped over it. And that gap in our knowledge, well, it has a massive price tag. So you really have to ask yourself, did they ever teach you how the system actually works? It's a question we really need to sit with for a second. Because our lack of financial education, that wasn't an accident. The modern financial system simply isn't designed to create financially free, independent people. It is meticulously engineered to create consumers. Literally, from the moment you turn 18, the system starts hunting you with credit card offers, student loans, and the illusion of easy monthly payments. To understand just how dangerous this game is, you only have to look back at the 2008 financial crisis. It is the ultimate historical example of what happens when a system exploits complex, misunderstood debt. Wall Street pushed bad loans and hid the risks in these confusing packages until the entire global economy collapsed. But here's the thing. That same strategy of confusing, hidden debt hasn't disappeared. Not at all. It's just been repackaged into the personal debt traps that we face every single day. Section 1. The modern debt treadmill. Selling you monthly payments.
Just notice how the standard car loan has quietly evolved over time. Decades ago, a car loan was 36 months. Simple. Then, as cars got more and more expensive, the financial industry invented the 60-month loan, then 72 months. Now, we're regularly seeing 84-month, that's 7-year car loans. They deliberately stretched out the terms so that the monthly payment looks affordable, completely blinding you to the fact that you're signing a much longer prison sentence for an asset that is rapidly depreciating.
84. I really want that number to sink in for a moment. Right now, 1 in 5 new car buyers is signing an 84-month loan. That is 7 years of payments for a vehicle that might not even survive that long without a major transmission rebuild. You are basically paying a mortgage on a piece of metal that loses value the actual second you drive it off the lot. And this brilliantly illustrates a horrific result, something called the negative equity flywheel. Right now, nearly 3 out of 10 people trading in a car are underwater. That means they owe more on the car than it's currently worth by an average of over $7,200. So what do? They roll that old debt into the brand new 84-month loan. Millions of Americans are literally paying monthly installments for cars they don't even own anymore. It's wild. Let's look at a real-world example here. Troy versus Chad. Same degree, same income. Troy finances a brand new F-150, rolling negative equity into one of those 84-month loans. By the time he's older, he's got maybe $14,000 in retirement. Now Chad buys a reliable used Camry and takes the $393 monthly difference and relentlessly invests it in an index fund. Fast forward, Chad has $340,000 and retires at 54. Troy is driving a beautiful truck, sure, but he's going to be working until he's 67. The car you choose can literally dictate when you get to stop working. Section 2. The two-income trap. Why earning more feels like having less. Look at this mathematical paradox. In 1973, Tom and Susan lived on just one income, and after fixed costs, they had about $36,400 in today's money left over. Decades later, Justin and Kimberly both work. They have a 75% higher gross pay. But after their fixed costs are paid, they actually have $800 less in disposable income than Tom and Susan did. How is that even mathematically possible? Well, it all started with housing. Back in 1970, a home was roughly 2.4 times a family's income. Today, it's over 6 times. When banks started letting couples borrow against both of their incomes, families didn't actually get richer. They just accidentally bid each other into a corner. Everyone's borrowing power doubled overnight, which just drove the price of houses through the roof until it literally required 2 incomes just to win the auction. And because both parents are now working to pay that massive mortgage, the entirety of that second paycheck gets instantly devoured by these 4 fixed slices. You have childcare, which, let's be honest, can cost more than in-state college tuition. You have a second commuting car. You have higher healthcare costs. And because that second income stacks on top of the first, it gets taxed at the highest bracket. You end up trapped in a cycle of working purely to pay for the ability to go to work. Which brings us to a frankly shocking reality. $43. That is the actual checking account balance of a modern couple making a combined $172,000 a year at the end of the month. On paper, they are in the top 25% of households. Their LinkedIn profiles scream successful. But after the massive mortgage, the daycare, the 2 car payments, and the taxes, they have $43 left. They are conscripted soldiers in a bidding war they never agreed to fight. And the scariest part of all this? The 1970s single-income family had a secret weapon: margin. The stay-at-home parent wasn't just a caregiver, they were the ultimate economic insurance policy. If dad lost his job, mom could enter the workforce. Today, both incomes are already entirely committed to fixed costs. There is zero backup engine. If just one person loses their job, the trap immediately snaps shut.
Section 3, Buying Status versus Buying Time. The Illusion of the Wealthy Retiree.
Check out this comparison. On the left, we have the pseudo-affluent. They rent status, they lease a brand new luxury SUV every 3 years, basically ensuring they are always losing money to depreciation. On the right, the truly wealthy. They buy margin. They hold onto an older, reliable Toyota. They purchase appreciating assets. They aren't trying to impress anyone at a stoplight. They're focused on becoming financially independent and actually staying that way. In fact, if you look at the habits of actual millionaires, they actively stop buying these financial paper shredders. They don't buy a new car every 3 years. They realize boats, RVs, and timeshares are just bottomless money pits. They completely ditch the $20,000 a year country club memberships. And crucially, they stop sending $1,500 monthly Venmos to their adult kids, which literally sets their own retirement on fire. They run the math and they simply refuse to subscribe to expensive illusions of status. Section 4. Escaping the Financial Matrix. Redefining True Wealth. So here is the actionable blueprint to actually escape. Step 1. Base all of your fixed costs strictly on one income. Buy the smaller house, drive the older car. Step 2. Relentlessly invest that second paycheck like your life depends on it, because it kind of does. And step 3, realize that your money is meant to buy your time and your freedom back from the distraction economy, not to buy depreciating status symbols. I really want you to remember this quote, because it's the entire game wrapped up into one single line. The car you drive isn't the cost. The car you don't buy is the wealth. Every single dollar that doesn't go into a depreciating liability becomes a worker bee that compounds for the next 30 years to buy your ultimate freedom. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. Take a hard look at your own life right now. If one of your paychecks disappeared tomorrow, what would actually happen? Do you have the margin to adapt, or would the financial trap snap shut? Because true wealth isn't the salary or the square footage, it's the optionality. It's the ability to absorb a shock. Run the math on your own life and start buying your freedom back.